Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm Joe with Premium Travel Group, and I'd like to welcome you aboard another episode of Cruise Compass Live. Whether you're joining us live or watching the replay, thank you for spending part of your evening with us. If you love cruising, travel trips, and discovering amazing destinations around the world, you're in the right place. Tonight, we're kicking off an exciting new series where we'll be exploring many of the world's major cruise lines. Over the coming weeks, we'll look at how each cruise line got its start, how its fleet has evolved, and what makes it unique where it sails and the types of travelers it's best suited for. Our goal isn't to decide which cruise line is the best. The truth is, every cruise line offers something different. And by the end of this series, I hope you'll have a better understanding of which one is the best fit for your vacation style. This really isn't a better place to begin than with Norwegian Cruise Line. I've had the opportunity to sail Norwegian Cruise Line several times over the many years, and I've also earned a doctorate degree through Norwegian Cruise Line University, or NCLU, which is the highest level of advisor certification they offer. Throughout tonight's episode, I'll combine what I've learned through their training with my own experience sailing on board their ships. So let's cast off and get started. We're going to start with a brief history of Norwegian Cruise Line. Norwegian Cruise Line was founded in 1966. The company began with a single ship called the Sunward at a time when many passenger ships were focused on transportation across the Atlantic. Norwegian helped pioneer the idea that the cruise itself should be the vacation. Over the years, the company continued to grow, adding new ships and expanding into destinations around the world. One of the biggest Norwegian's history came when they introduced something known as freestyle cruising. Instead of assigning passengers fixed dining times, required formal nights, and rigid schedules, Norwegian gave guests the flexibility to vacation on their own terms. Today, many cruise lines have adopted similar ideas, but Norwegian was one of the pioneers that helped reshape the modern cruise experience. What makes Norwegian unique? Every cruise line has something that sets it apart. For Norwegian, that starts with freestyle cruising, but it certainly doesn't end there. Norwegian's known for creating ships that combine relaxation with innovation, and just some of the experience you'll find across many of their newer ships include the freestyle cruising, which is on every ship, not many other ships, every ship, along with Broadway-style entertainment, numerous specialty dining venues and options. Now, where you're going to get a little bit more limited to the newer ships is going to be the Speedway at Sea go-kart tracks. It's an all-electric go-kart track that you'll find on many of the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships. Aqua parks with exciting water slides can be found on virtually every ship. The Aqua Slide Coaster, brand new, is found on board only right now, the Norwegian Aqua and the brand new Norwegian Luna. A Globe Court, which is an interactive digital sports court, is also one of those new features that you're going to find on the Norwegian Luna and the upcoming Norwegian Aura. Beautiful outdoor spaces like Ocean Boulevard. Those started with the wonderful Breakaway class ships and are now found on all of their Breakaway class and above ships. A panorama observation lounge. This is especially popular for Alaska sailings, which is actually what the Breakaway class was designed for. They specifically had Alaska in mind when they did that. These are just a few of the innovations Norwegian has introduced over the years. As the series continues, we'll compare these features with other cruise lines so you can see how each company approaches the cruising experience differently. Norwegian's fleet evolution, rather than discussing each individual ship, let's look at Norwegian's fleet as it's evolved over the years. We'll start with the Sun class. These ships helped establish Norwegian's reputation for destination-focused cruising. They are smaller ships, often provide better access to the ports that larger ships just cannot visit. They are their smallest ships at sea right now with Norwegian. We then move into the Dawn class. Okay, the Dawn class introduced slightly larger ships with additional dining, entertainment, and public spaces while maintaining that comfortable atmosphere. Again, still a relatively small boat, a very small boat compared to some of the standards today, but definitely still smallish and still sailing. Then we move into the Jewel class, which I apologize, I actually don't have a picture here of the Jewel class, but many experienced consider the Jewel class among their favorite Norwegian ships. I have sailed on the Norwegian Jade, which is part of that. Beautiful ship, a little over 2,000 people. They have a wonderful balance between the size, the amenities, and the easy navigation getting around. So, as which is just up there is the Breakaway class. Okay, this represented the major leap forward. Okay, Norwegian began designing ships that felt more like floating resorts with expanded entertainment, dining, and outdoor spaces. This included the extra large observation deck, which is up on the top area. It's enclosed, and it takes up the front third of the ship. Okay, so wonderful ways to experience Alaska without having to go outside. You then get into the Breakaway Plus class, which is a ship I just actually got off of. Okay, this is a picture of the Norwegian Escape. We just did that in November. Beautiful ship. Okay, it's also right here. This is a ship model. Every ship I go on, I don't know if this is your kind of deal, but I love to get them. I collect them. Lets everybody know exactly what ships I've been on, because those models you can only get on ships. So these larger ships introduced even more attractions, okay, and that included the Speedway at Sea, the expanded family activities, all of the extras that are kind of coming along with a lot of those. And then it made that transition to what is known as the Prima class. Now, the Prima class doesn't actually hold more people than the Breakaway class, but it has more open space. And that open space, they have made maximum use of it. Okay. They focused on creating that more open space and elevated design for a premium guest experience. Okay. They did do away with the go-kart at sea on the newest classes of ships in the Prima Plus class, but you will find them on the regular Prima class ships. Now, just to take you into the newest class of ships, okay, and that is the Prima Plus. These are roughly about 10 to 15% larger than the regular Prima class ships, and that took it to the next level. They did get rid of the go-karts at sea, but they put on the aqua coaster. Okay, this is a combination raft slide with a magnetic launch capabilities. Okay, the first ship was the Norwegian Aqua. Now the Luna, which just set sail this past, March, was they have built on everything that everybody enjoyed about the Prima class, but again, they expanded that public space. The extra dining, entertainment, and accommodations. The Prima Plus class does have some of the new dining menus on it that you're going to find. Now, looking ahead, Norwegian has already announced plans for an entirely new generation of ships that are going to be even bigger than the Prima Plus and have more open space. Details are still limited. They have not named this future class, but they're going to continue Norwegian's tradition of innovation. It's exciting to know that even after nearly 60 years, Norwegian continues investing in the future of cruising. So a lot of times people do ask, okay, so where does Norwegian sail? Answer, worldwide. Okay. The Caribbean is certainly their most popular itinerary and region that they sail to. They operate year-round in the Caribbean. But depending on the season, the ships may go to beyond the Caribbean and the Bahamas. They go to Bermuda, Alaska, Hawaii. They are actually the only cruise company that sails exclusively around the Hawaiian Islands. They don't leave the Hawaiian Islands, okay? Most other cruise companies, you leave from the West Coast and sail to Hawaii. They also do Canada, New England. Okay, so you're leaving out of ports like New York, Boston, sailing up, especially during the fall foliage season. This is when that's especially popular. Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, Barcelona, France, you name it, that's the Mediterranean. That's also year round. They do hit Northern Europe, Asia, Australia and New Zealand, South America, Africa, Panama Canal voyages. That is absolutely a unique voyage. I can't wait to go on one. I haven't been on one yet. And then, of course, there's the transatlantic crossings. Okay, ships at least once or twice a year, sometimes more, are transitioning from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean, or from the Caribbean to the Mediterranean. Okay, so hop on one of those. You'll spend 5 to 6 days at sea, and just absolutely, enjoy it all. They even have world cruises. Okay, if you have not been on a world cruise, I haven't, but you're sailing anywhere from 140 to 260 days and just going around the world. So no matter what type of destination you're dreaming about, there's a good chance Norwegian has an itinerary that can take you there. Who is Norwegian best for? I do get questions like that all the time. One of the reasons, Norwegian continues to be so popular is that they appeal to a wide variety of travelers. I really recommend Norwegian to just about everybody. It depends on what they're really, we always ask that question, what are you looking for out of that? But it is good for first-time cruisers, families, couples, solo travelers. Norwegian invented the solo travel area. Okay, they've got an area dedicated just to solo travelers. They have studio rooms with a solo travel lounge that only the solo travelers can get into. Multi-generational families. That escape cruise I told you guys about that I did in November was just that. It was me, my wife, my son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandkids. Okay, so multi-generational right there. Travelers who enjoy the flexibility rather than the rigid schedules. I do love anytime dining, the free at sea. It is wonderful. They do offer everything from just a simple short weekend cruise to 7-day to 12-day, 14-day, you name it, they've got an option there for you. My personal perspective, having sailed Norwegian several times, and one of the things I appreciate the most is definitely the relaxed atmosphere. You never feel rushed. You can enjoy dinner when you're ready, choose from a wide variety of entertainment, and simply vacation at your own pace. It's one of the reasons Norwegian remains one of the cruise lines I frequently recommend when it's right fit for the client's travel style. Now, looking ahead to next week, we are going to continue our cruise line series as we take a closer look at MSC cruises. They're a new cruise line to the Caribbean, so a lot of us here in the United States are still getting used to them. But we're going to explore the history of MSC cruises, how their fleet has evolved, what makes MSC unique, where they sail around the world, who they're best suited for, And once we've introduced all of the major cruise lines, we're going to actually take a deeper dive into comparing feature by feature. We'll look at, the ship within a ship concepts. We're going to look at the private islands, dining venues, entertainment, loyalty programs, beverage packages, internet packages, family activities, solo travel, and the list keeps going. Okay, there's so much to consider when you're cruising because there's so much included. And that way, by the end of all of our series, you're going to have the information you need to choose the cruise line that's right for you. So I do thank you for joining me aboard Cruise Compass Live tonight. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, I'd appreciate it if you like, follow, and share it with your fellow cruise lovers. It really helps us reach more people who share a passion for travel and especially cruising. If you have questions about Norwegian Cruise Line or you're thinking about planning your next cruise, I'd love to help you. Reach out to us. Our contact information has been scrolling at the bottom this entire time. So until next Thursday, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep making memories. I'm Joe with Premium Travel Group, helping you navigate your next great adventure. God bless and smooth seas. We'll see you next time aboard Cruise Compass Live.